Hi, I've missed you. As you can see, I have a new setup. I have a new friend. I just wanted to make this video, give you an update, do a little Q&A that I had you guys sent me through Instagram, and I also want to show you what I want to read this month. I will be chaptering this video, so if you don't want to hear about the update Q&A, you can just go straight to the TBR. But either way, hi, I hope you're doing good. And I finally found a pocket where no one's at home that I can film, because I do not like filming in front of people, even with my partner of 6.5 years. No, I get very awkward. Oh, he's sleeping. Look at that. I'll just scooch. I got a few questions from you guys saying, how did the move go? Why did you move? And how are you feeling? That type of things. And yeah, so I moved from Western Australia to the East. I left my family. Been hard, but I needed this new and exciting adventure, a clean slate, and I am enjoying Melbourne very, very much. And the move went pretty well. I flew across and I could only bring whatever I could bring based on the weight limit of the airline, which is not much. I don't have my books. I think I brought 5 books in total. So I don't have my shelves, I don't have my books. I'm relying heavily on the library and also Kindle Unlimited. And how I'm feeling is a very complicated question and answer. I haven't really felt settled just yet because I am still trying to find a job and I'm currently unemployed. So I am trying to fill my time with different things that I have to do, obviously also for applying for jobs. So yeah, I am not quite settled in because I don't have a routine for myself just yet. But hopefully, fingers crossed, I will have a routine soon. I also got a few questions about what your favorite part of Melbourne is. And so far, just the environment, the food, the weather. Look, I know all of you guys are summer girlies, but I'm a winter girly. And we are in deep winter and I am loving it. Very, very cold. It is cutting. When the wind blows at your face, it's cold. It doesn't snow, but it is cold. And my favorite part of Melbourne is just the food, to be honest. I'm a foodie girl and I love going to new places and find staple places that you can go to for specific things. Yeah, I'm loving it. We have found the best bakery so far that is actually near our house, called Drum Bakery. If you've seen the TikToks, you probably have seen Drum Bakery, and I can definitely confirm it has really, really good croissants, better than Loon croissants that is in the city. Drum Bakery, hands down, better than Loon. Anyway, I also got a question asking, is there anything about Perth that you miss that you didn't expect to? And I think I miss the familiarity about the place and knowing where to go to eat. My life revolves around food. Obviously, I miss my family. That is a given. My favorite places that I usually go to eat specific things. But now I have to find new places. It's a whole new ball game. But nothing else about Perth. Perth is very much a retirement home. Nothing happens there. Actually, I do miss the sunrise and sunset. Where I am is very much inland, and in Perth, it's a very small city. So the sunrise and sunsets are beautiful, and I do miss them very, very much. But I still get it here. I just can't see it a lot because, again, very inland. My good old Roomies Digest asks, so will you show us an apartment tour? I'm not in an apartment. I am actually living with roommates. That's why I have been waiting for the opportune moment where the house is empty and I can film. So sadly, no a house tour because some of the spaces are not mine. This is the living room. This is their cat, Louis. He has taken a liking to me. I'm not a cat person, but I do like Louis. He likes my blanket. I like him. He likes me. And my lovely patron Tara asks, the new place you moved, is there any indie bookstores? There are a lot of indie bookstores, but I haven't ventured into any bookstores because I'm trying not to buy any books because I do not have the space. And again, unemployed. I do not have the money, but I'm definitely tinkering on the idea of exploring different indie bookstores around Melbourne and definitely going to be filming all the different stores. Alright, so those are all the moving questions, and bottom line, I'm doing good. I'm just finding my bearings and trying to get settled. I do miss my family, but that's just a given, and yeah, I'm okay. So let's move on to the bookish questions. Any new favorite books? Yes, I recently just finished reading Jade Legacy. This is the third book in the Greenbone Saga by Fonda Lee. Absolutely loved it. I gave it 5 stars, but there are some things that I have not issues, but like I wish they were different. But it's still like my favorite book of the year. Ooh, we got a little sun action here. I don't know if I can do anything about that. And another no, I won't say favorite, but I've had such a good time reading this, and that is Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. Everyone and their mother has read this and raved about it, so I'm not going to give you any more of that rave, but I had such a fun time reading this. Definitely continuing on with the sequel. It's just so addicting. That writing style and like the way it's plotted, the characters, so addictive. I loved it. Oh my god, Louis is so blown out. I'm so sorry, Louis. Moving right on, my good friend Sam, she asked what books you're most excited to read in the second half of the year. To be honest, a lot of books. I'm really excited to read. I'm just very much in the reading mood at the moment. I definitely am very excited for Iron Flames by Rebecca Yarros, the second book of the Fourth Wing series. I'm also excited to continue on in the Red Rising saga. I know the 7th book is coming out this month in July, but I need to catch up, so I'm very excited to get to the books that I haven't read yet. And of course, Chloe Leese is releasing her second book to the Wilmot Sister series. Cannot for the life of me remember the name, but I am so excited for another Chloe Leese release. That rhymed, and I am so excited. I love Chloe Leese's romance. I forgot that I just read If Only You by Chloe Leese. This is the 6th book in the Bergman Brothers series, and I loved this. I gave this 5 stars. I related to our main character Ziggy so much, and she was paired up with her brother's best friend, Sebastian, who is a hockey player. They both make a pact to boost each other's reputation. Ziggy wants to taint her reputation a little bit because not a lot of people take her seriously, and Sebastian needs some good to his reputation, and Ziggy gives that for him. And I just loved this romance. It blossomed so beautifully, and there was no third act breakup, which I loved. I have moved the camera a little bit just so it's not as blown out, but yeah, this is the only light source. Anyway, another one of my lovely patrons, Sasha, asked me, what's your star, moon, and rising sign? Let me pull up CoStar because it knows the answers. So I'm a Virgo sun, a Sagittarius moon, and a Capricorn rising. I don't know what any of that means except for my Virgo-ness because I am definitely a Virgo and definitely a Sagittarius at the same time because I'm so decisive and indecisive at the same time. It's ridiculous. And the last question I have is, what is your favorite book? It's a very broad question. Fantasy-wise, I would say Jade Legacy by Fonda Lee and Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. Thrillers, I would say Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware, Behind Her Eyes by Sarah Pinborough, and Now In My Dreams I Hold the Knife. For romance, The Hating Game by Sally Thorne, Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armaz, and my new Chloe Leese, If Only You. So those are my genre favorites. All right, so let's move on to the TBR. Oh, hello. Okay, let's move on to the TBR. So, as I said before, I don't have my books. I'm relying heavily on the library. So really whatever comes through the library is my TBR for the month. But I do have some priorities. So I'm currently reading the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin. This is the first book to an adult fantasy series that is beloved by many people. And I'm reading this for the Fantasy Series book club that is hosted by Christine from the Roomies Digest, Nicole from Bon Bon Reads, Rachel from Let Me in the Library, and Jess from Jess from Books Past Bedtime. Jesus. I'll link them all below if you want to check them out. I'm their guest host for the Broken Earth trilogy. And so far, I am intrigued, but I do have my negatives, but we won't get into that. It's not a wrap up. But so far, I'm enjoying it. And if you would like to hear more of my spoilery thoughts, join us for the live show discussion. So for my Patreon book club, the Sluts and Guts book club, we are starting the Bargainer series by Laura Thalassa, and I just read Rhapsodic, the first book in the series. I'm obsessed. So I'm tentatively putting the second book, A Strange Hymn, on the TBR because I really want to get to the second book like now, but I do have priorities, so I'm hoping I can get to it at the end of the month so I can put up a spoiler vlog like I just did for Rhapsodic. Oh, big stretch cat. And speaking of Patreon. My top tier patrons, the Green Bones, get to give me a recommendation from my physical TBR, and every month I pick out a book to read and vlog for them. So I have April and May's book with me. Actually, I'm wrong. This is a library book, but I do have one of the books with me. So April's pick is Beasts of Prey by Anna Gray, picked by my lovely patron Liz, who has a channel I will link down below. She has great sci-fi recs. And this is the first book to a YA fantasy. I know the second book's already out and the third book is going to come out in January. I don't know much about this, but I know it's taking place in a jungle and there's mystical creatures in this jungle that they have to hunt. Very excited to dive into this one. And the second book I want to read this month is Reign and Ruin by J.D. Evans. This is May's pick, and it was picked by my lovely patron Lana, who also has a channel down below. She is the queen of indie fantasy. Please check her out. And this is the first book to a fantasy romance series. My patrons love giving me first books of a series because they just don't care that I have a lot of series ongoing on my list. They just don't give a shit. They're like, Vish, just fucking read this book, okay? So anyway, first book to a fantasy romance series that I'm very, very excited to read. I have heard many, many good things about this. It is apparently going to be equally romantic and equally political, which I love that balance. So I'm very excited to get into this very, very soon after I finish the 5th season. So those are my priorities for the month. Let's get into the maybes. So one maybe, well, not even maybe, I'm currently reading this, is the second book to the War of Lost Hearts series by Carissa Broadbent. I have it here on my Kindle. I just started it last night. I'm flying through it, already on page 100. This book is 600 pages and I did like the first book. It's very much a setup for the whole series, so I wasn't as invested into the characters, the story, but reading the second book, this is where the shit's at. I am enjoying the hell out of this. I cannot wait to finish this and hopefully get into the third book because I really want to know what happens. And if I haven't mentioned, this is a new adult fantasy romance series that has taken the book sphere by storm. And I decided to start with this series instead of the Crowns of Nyxia series because I think this is completed. So I thought I'd do this one first. And another maybe, because this just came from the library, Golden Sun by Pierce Brown is the second book of the Red Rising saga. So I get my patrons to pick what series I need to focus on next. They picked the Greenbone saga, which I finished. So now they've picked the Red Rising saga for me to focus on. So I'm making my way through downtown. I'm making my way through the Red Rising saga, starting with Golden Sun, which I actually have read. I'm just rereading this because I barely remember anything. I have read Red Rising twice, so that's fine. I just need to read Golden Sun and move on. So this is the second book to the Red Rising saga. It's very dramatic. It's very Shakespearean-esque. I really loved Red Rising. When I read Golden Sun, it was really good. But the whole sci-fi aspect of this really threw me off. But hopefully now that I've read a bit more sci-fi, hopefully it won't bother me as much. So I'm very excited to get into this. Hopefully I can get to this after all my other reads. So those are the books that I want to read. That is my life currently as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do have a couple of videos coming out that I filmed before I moved, so look out for that. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't. All my socials and my Patreon is linked down below if you want to check it out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!